Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So today we're going to be talking about Star Wars The Acolyte. This is an ongoing series a lot of people have dubbed Wokealite because they believe this is the embodiment of Disney's DEI initiatives. It seems like every single choice behind this show is the result of some kind of agenda that they're trying to push, and these observations have been reflected in the audience reviews because this series is getting review bombed hard by fans. Now, we have an unprecedented response to this criticism. So the star of The Acolyte, Amandla Stenberg, has made a response. And a response that, as this article points out, is an industry first. She made a music video and a company song that is roasting her own fans and dismissing all criticism as racism. Yes, this is happening while the show is ongoing, and the result of this has been quite horrible. But before we get into her absolute masterpiece of a music video, let's talk about The Acolyte for a second. So, as soon as this was announced, it became very clear to many that this was heading in a certain direction. Looking at the trailer alone, you can see the like-dislike ratio. It is abysmal. To many, they looked at this 2-minute trailer and they saw a great departure from everything that Star Wars is about. And since the series has premiered and is ongoing, people have made observations like this. And a word I've seen over and over again in these reviews is vandalism. A lot of people consider The Acolyte to be vandalism of the franchise. This is not an open love letter to the fans. This is something that is a big middle finger to the fans and everything this franchise is about. It's not just a middle finger, it is a judgmental one that is trying to push an agenda on you. This is a great departure from everything that fans have expected at this point, and people do not like it, and that's very understandable. And when it comes to the actual series itself, it seems like it is the product of nothing but DEI. That seems to be the entire source of everything going on with this series, and it's to the point where it's like we're living in a South Park parody, okay? This episode from South Park came out a few months ago, but honestly, I don't even think it went far enough, okay? The reality we're living in is actually even crazier. Here is the plot line of episode 3. Spoiler alert in case you were waiting on this, but here's a real headline. The Acolyte makes massive retcon to Star Wars lore, reveals lesbian space witches created life from the Force. Well, I mean, I guess if you create enough friction, you might get fire, but yeah, they're literally saying we don't need men anymore. How does that make you feel? A massive retcon that makes no sense in terms of the story that ends up with men being useless. Like, they don't need men no more. It's absolutely insane. Only Disney and DEI could make the concept of lesbian space witches something so unappealing to men. It's actually impressive how bad it is, but overall, beyond just that episode, the entire series so far has been a dumpster fire, putting it lightly. Now, critics have been praising this as stunning and brave, of course, but the audience score on places like Rotten Tomatoes is abysmal. 14% is where it currently stands. However, you might be thinking to yourself, well, Disney, The Acolyte, everyone behind it, they messed up. It's their fault. Well, you would be wrong, you bigot. It's actually the audience's fault. It's your fault that the series is failing. And that's what journalists are trying to push right now. You can see this article from Forbes saying this. The Acolyte's 15% audience score is embarrassing for you, the audience. That is absolutely a very brave take right there. Literally saying it's your fault that a Disney show is failing because you're criticizing it and not liking how it's turning out. Absolutely insane. And on top of that, a lot of these journalists have been pushing the narrative that basically these Star Wars fans are threatened by a female lead, which couldn't be any further from the truth. You can compare The Acolyte with its 14% audience score to a completely flipped score for Rogue One. And also keep in mind, Rogue One came out in 2016 versus The Acolyte in 2024, and that definitely does make a difference if you know kind of the series of events and how people have viewed female leads in stories like Star Wars. But yeah, that just kind of dismantles any claims like that. And also, if you look around right now at other series that are actively running, you look at the season 2 of House of the Dragon. That one is absolutely crushing it. A strong female presence in that show. What's the excuse now? But anyways, they're going to keep trying. Here's another headline saying Star Wars toxic fans keep proving they're the franchise's biggest problem. That's right. The fans are the problem. That is the narrative they're going with, and they're pushing real hard on this one. But speaking of toxicity, let's focus on the main character and the actress behind her, the one that is causing so much controversy. So here is Amandla Stenberg. A lot of people are criticizing her performance because, as you can see, she has quite the range when it comes to her acting and some of the emotions she's portraying through this character. But this is what we're focusing on today. This has been making headlines all over the place. This is absolutely insane. So in the past, there's a lot of clips of Amandla saying some disparaging things about many different people, including potential Star Wars fans and alike. But this headline is unbelievable. So the Acolyte's star, Amandla Stenberg, releases song responding to fan backlash. In what's likely an industry first, I wonder why it's an industry first, a TV show star has written and released a song and music video complete with dance moves in response to racist backlash against the show. This show is still ongoing, and she just made a diss track on Star Wars fans. Tell me how out of touch these people are. And for the video itself, my God, is it a dumpster fire. Now, this video itself is scattered all over the internet. It's like whack-a-mole right now with Disney and her team. Basically, you upload this, there's a good chance it's going to get striked down or removed or claimed, what have you, and then it pops up somewhere else. Here's one of the latest renditions from It's a Gundam here, and this caption really hits the nail on the head in terms of the theme we're looking at today. It says, "Yes, the privileged Hollywood actress with a billion-dollar company behind her is the revolutionary." That's kind of the message she's trying in this video. And as you can see, she talks a lot about how she is a struggling black woman and how white people are all doing all these bad things. And then here's her and her father, who's also a member of the industry. She's quite literally the product of nepotism. But on top of that, I regret to inform you guys, I can't really show you the video. Yes, I know. You're really missing out on the 20 or 30 second portion of the video where she just simply twerks with the chorus saying over and over again, "I don't F with your discourse. We're tired of your discourse." But yeah, there's a reason I'm not playing that. And it's because, well, they're going around claiming and striking down videos like Craig is pointing out here, YouTube videos getting hit and the monetization is getting taken away, and her team or herself are confirming these claims and basically saying now you have to go threaten legal action, and nobody wants to do that. And also, I think this is like a 5D chess move where she made this terrible music video, now is trying to claim all the videos and revenue that are making fun of her. But here's the video, okay? I can give you some of the lyrics. I can't play it, but I can read some of the lyrics, and they're really touching. This section in particular is great. So after the chorus where she says, "We so bored, don't F with yo discourse," over and over again while twerking, she says this verse. "And now you listening, I'ma tell you something fascinating. They spinning woke, bastardize it, and appropriate it. Last I recall, woke was something we created. Speak truth to power. Keep an eye out for you silly racists. And now they use it to describe anything they threaten by? Remember when Gambino put in the zeitgeist? It was all about people recognizing bigotry, the power of community, not fodder for your clickbait." So basically she's saying that Star Wars fans have appropriated the term woke, which is like posting your own L's. Like, that's embarrassing that you allowed someone to take that away. Honestly, if you're mad about people taking the term woke and using it to describe a bunch of DEI nonsense, that's on you, because wokeism has claimed all these things as their own, and they've gone off the rails with it and offended and annoyed people for years and years and years. And now people are using woke to label things like this, songs like this, actresses like this, shows like The Acolyte, and so on and so forth. You did this to yourselves. But continuing on, she says this, "Speaking of which, journalists, I'm looking at you. Did you forget it's your job to provide the truth? Spreading divisiveness, mining the metrics and date. Seem you gave up all your ethics for money and views. I can tell that the people are tired." So right here, she's going after journalists, which is hilarious. Journalists catching L's is always funny, but it's extra funny in this situation because the only people backing this actress and The Acolyte are journalists. They're the only ones fighting for her. They basically have a humiliation fetish, right? They're making articles getting clowned on by everyone, and then the person they're doing it for tells them it's not good enough. It's absolutely hilarious. But she continues on saying this, and the kids don't trust anything that they view. We can learn something from their discernment. The future's coming, and it's always the youth. Yeah, how do you do, fellow kids? Please watch The Acolyte. Here's the problem. This statement about the kids don't trust anything that they view. Look at Zoomers and Gen Alpha and all of that. They believe everything they see, dude. Like, they think TikTok is like a verified news source, like a random person on TikTok, and they believe it as fact. They believe everything they see. Just look at Twitter and how people believe absolute nonsense every single day just because they want to agree with it, so therefore they don't question it. Like, yeah, this is completely out of touch. But anyways, you can see, right, there's a big divide right now, and you can see in that music video, in the lyrics, and some of the reaction to The Acolyte on Twitter, there's a divide right now. The new Star Wars fans versus the old ones. And just like other mediums, like anime, for example, there was a big clash between old and new. And with anime, for example, you know, in the last couple of years since COVID, a lot of people have joined in, and those new anime fans are trying to oust the old anime fans from their own medium and hobby and try to change everything to their own will. And that's what's happening with Star Wars and The Acolyte. So here's one of the responses on Twitter trying to prop up Star Wars The Acolyte. This user says, "Holy shit, man. If you're 60 years old and crying go woke, go broke about effing Star Wars, you need to get laid or preferably punched in the mouth." I don't know. So basically, this is like achieving a woke Twitter bingo card right here. So dismissing all of their opponents as boomers, also saying that you need to get laid, and also threatening physical violence if you have a differing opinion about a franchise. And also on that threat, like, shiver me timbers. Yeah, everyone's shaking in their boots about that threat coming from you, dude. But anyways, here's one of the most liked replies saying Disney is woke, they discriminate white men, and it's pretty obvious. And that's a claim a lot of people have been assuming for some time now, but now we have some actual documentation on that. So here is a video from James O'Keefe. They've gotten some amazing footage and quotes from the senior vice president at the Walt Disney Company. Now, I'll put a link to this video in the description. It's kind of a long one, but there's several quotes coming from this that are very, very telling. So here's one of the quotes saying, "Nobody else is going to tell you this, but they're not considering any white males for the job. There's no way we're hiring a white male." And going beyond that, he admits Disney gives bonuses to executives for practicing diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, agreeing that diversity helps with financial incentives, and they further claim that he's been denied promotions due to his race. And there's part 2 on this coming out as well. This whole thing is absolutely crazy, but not shocking in the slightest. And honestly, the way Acolyte is going right now and the way that it's already demonstrated its intentional pursuit of DEI initiatives is very telling, but not surprising in the slightest. But overall, this show has been an absolute nightmare, and people can cope all they want on Twitter. The audience hates this, and for good reason. It's not a good show, and it's woke. It's both things at the same time. Both things can be true at the same time, and it makes for a very bad product and one that people are not going to enjoy. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.